Okay, so in this video, we are going to attempt to create a blog post around a very technical topic that is gonna be very difficult to read, difficult to understand, and difficult to actually curate content around. And most GPT-3 tools will fail when doing this comparison. So we are going to compare two technologies called GraphQL and RestQL and see how we can rank for this particular content. So let's go ahead and go to AI Wizard. I created some title ideas for us, choosing GraphQL versus RestQL, complete feature comparison. I really like that. I really like when a blog post is all about being complete and really in depth. So this really resonates with me, but this one is also good. GraphQL versus RestQL. What is the difference between REST and GraphQL? So this is great as well. You can either select either one of those, and I can already sense that it contains the keyword. It also contains all the highest frequency words, and this is good to go. So let me go ahead and click next. We'll generate some description for choosing GraphQL versus RestQL complete feature description. So compare and contrast the top features of REST and GraphQL. This comparison will help you decide which approach is the best for your Django project. We don't want to do Django, and this is a very, I mean, we just want to do a basic comparison, so I'm not going to choose that. But popular solutions for consuming APIs, this is really good. And I can say that because I understand this technology just a little bit, not much, but I have enough to say that this can really help. So RESTQL versus REST, instead of REST, we will add RESTQL. QL, and we can also, so the reason why it's suggesting Django is because most people have used Django as a keyword. So now I'm changing my decision and I want to go and actually use Django because this resonates more with people. So you can also see here Django projects. Okay. All right. So now it has all the keywords that we need. Now let's go ahead and look, click next. Okay. So we'll generate outlines now. These outlines are going to be SEO optimized outlines. They have all the relevant keywords that we need to target in order to rank for this particular keyword. So let's go ahead and look at all the examples. What are the difference between, okay, so what, how to use OData with REST, what is RESTQL example, right? Difference between RESTQL and GraphQL APIs. So I'm going to select one of these. Why you should choose either REST or this. So this is more like a use case kind of a question, and I really like this because people will find it useful. Which would be better for your app, GraphQL or RESTQL? So it's kind of just resonating this. So let's go ahead and look at some other examples. And if we don't find something that's, so the problem is that most of this are really high level outlines. And when you're doing a feature comparison, you really want to get nitty gritty into the features. So what I will do for this particular example is I will just add this to and then build upon using some SERP data. Okay, so I just added that. Now let me go ahead and open up Concept Builder. And we can see that these two are already in here. Now I will go here and let's start looking at some features, right? So again, the subject is what? Comparison versus. So we want to find all the features that we can compare. So features in culture and method, I really like this. Features in AI, ML, and data engineering. This could also be something that we could use. Okay, let's not talk about any of these. Choose your language. Okay, all right, let's go next. Okay, cloud backup and recovery. This could be one of the use cases. Cloud data management, NoSQL data protection. Okay, workloads, use cases, AI-based automation. Okay, well, AI-based automation is not really a use case for this GraphQL, but I really like use cases and workload. So let's put this in. Okay. All right. So use cases is more like why you should choose one or the other. So let's move this in here actually. Okay, let me just press a Control P so you guys can actually see the screen a little better. Okay, so now we've started creating some outlines here. And the way I would go about creating this super powerful topics, which are in depth and comparison, is going and finding every feature that you can actually compare. And knowledge is the key, critical review, right? So this is something where you can actually find sufficient information. So what I want to really do is I want to add this too, but to my higher level product. Okay. So a critical review. So what I'm going to do is let me copy this, Control X, and just close this out and put critical review. So you don't even have to put the critical review. Let's just leave this out right now, and we'll see if Concepts is able to gather information for critical reviews as well. So let's just keep looking, and you will find that okay. So standard APIs data querying over the internet, right? So this is one of the things that you can do comparison as well. Contrasting figure one, no, API versioning and maintenance examples. Okay, so you get the point that in order to create this particular blog post, PostgreSQL versus RestQL, you need to find out all the comparison features. So what is microservice architecture? Because efficiency is everything. So I mean, you find the ones that are important and include it into your content. So we just did this. Now let's go ahead and look at some questions as well and see if we can add more questions from Google. So why is GraphQL so bad? Search for why is GraphQL so bad. So which is different, GraphQL or REST API? Which is better, GraphQL or REST API? So like these are some questions that people are asking, and I would really love to add all of these. What is Graph? Why you should avoid GraphQL? What are the advantages of using GraphQL? What is great about GraphQL? Okay, so lots of people are just searching for everything around GraphQL. Is GraphQL an alternative to REST API? Yes, sure it is. That's why we have compared. Most of these things are already being addressed with the few questions that we have in the outline already. So I could skip majority of them. But the ones that are not being talked about in your outline, you can certainly go ahead and include. I also want to include all keyword related, but there's no keyword related data. Let's also go ahead and look at some social data. There's no social data either. So it's understandable, right? This is very nuanced technology. So now guess what? Since there is no questions related to GraphQL or ResQL on Reddit or the pages that any AI was trained with, it's going to be difficult for AI to come up with content for this particular topic. So now let's go ahead and close this concept builder out. Go to our sections here, go to outline, and start creating content. So what is the difference between REST and PostgreSQL API? Let's go ahead and click some content and see if we can generate sections around it. Okay, GraphQL queries themselves are not faster than RESTQL queries. It's possible to pick up the field where you want the query, which result in smaller and more effective GraphQL queries. So here are the discussion points that it laid out for you related to GraphQL and RESTQL API. Now let's see if it is able to start creating that paragraph for us. So what I would do, what is the difference between RESTQL and GraphQL API? Let me go ahead and copy this in, and I would say, so I don't want to like let's go into like a short, and you can just press instruct. Okay, so GraphQL is a query language and runtime for describing your API is designed to be more flexible than REST, allowing you to write queries with less boilerplates and gain greater control over the data for your API returns. GraphQL is a way to build APIs on top of RESTQL resources. A RESTQL API is a REST API that uses REST convention process and tools in. I really like where this is going. So what I am going to do is let's go to AI write. and I'm going to move it to the shortest output, so it gives me much relevant, and I can actually navigate, take it in the direction that I want. Okay, it's expensive, so let's delete this out. Okay, all right, and let's delete this out as well. So this is our intro paragraph. Now let's see if we can start talking about some concepts that we build out. So, okay, let's start building out this concept. Okay, okay. Wow, look at that. All right. Okay, so this is giving you sort of everything in points, and which makes sense. So, which makes sense. So what you can also do is come here and make it a bullet point. So it's much more readable for users to follow and understand the differences on what is GraphQL, how is it used, and how you can use RestQL APIs as well. So what you understand from this particular example is that concepts can pull out this information, has several can pull out this information and help you guide your entire paragraph writing, so you are more in line and focused with what you need to write, instead of going and researching about and again and being distracted by it. So this is great. Now I want to elaborate upon features and cultures and method, right? So features and culture and method, you can obviously rewrite this. Let's generate some concepts, and then okay, we could not. So there's not much content around. Oh, I see. There's just culture has nothing to do with it. Okay, ML data has nothing to do with it, but workload definitely does, right? So let's go ahead and look at workload and generate concepts. Where, what happened here? Oh, by mistake, I deleted that. Okay, let me go back and add it. So workload. Okay, let me go add this. Right? AI, API based automation. I will add a couple of those things. Okay. Now let's go back to the outline here. Let me drag this back. Okay, so it's already there. Sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing. Okay. Um, let's expand this. Now I want to talk about workload differences, right? So let's see if it is able to generate concepts. It's not. So what I will do now, so let's go ahead and do the research. Okay, so this particular content is missing. So what we will do now, go to Google. Differences. Let's look at this. Okay, bottom line. So what I really want to know is, where is this particular section from? So what I will do is go to sections, workloads. This is coming from rubric. So okay. So I see that they've changed the content, and this is why we're not able to find anything around this, which is okay. But workload comparison. So let's go ahead and look at it here. If we see if we find. Okay, so there is no workload differences, and this comes from part of me being not so savvy with GraphQL and RestQL and understanding some of this stuff. So let's just keep moving here, and I can show you some more. So, okay, cloud database management, cloud backup and recovery. So these are all solutions, and that's why we're not able to find any information. What we need is a better. Okay. API design and overfetching. Let's talk about that. Okay. Oh, I see. All right. Let me minimize this. Okay. Now let's open this up. So this is API design and overfetching. Let's see if we are able to create concepts for that. There we go. So the difference between REST API and GraphQL in terms of API design and overfetching. Now you can see that it started building out this concepts for H3 tags, and you can simply copy them in and start fetching and start writing with concepts. Much better output, much thorough output, and it stays on track and expands upon the only context that you actually need and nothing else. So you can finish off this. There we go. Let's finish this. Let's delete this. And poorly designed so-called REST API can be converted into REST by means of naive conversions. Okay, great. Look at that. So it's super easy for you to start building out your paragraphs and then making small adjustments to make them more concise. But chances are that this talks very little fluff and it stays on track with what you need to achieve with this particular topic. So follow the steps and you should have the content cranking in absolutely no time. So I hope this was useful and thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.